1903, problems began to arise within the Spillville parish due to a negative article written about Father Joseph by a Chicago-based publication. Up to this point, Father Dostal had served the community well. Joseph Dostal was born on March 11, 1870, in Borsice. He studied at the Bohemian High School and Gymnasium in Perov and studied theology in Olmutz. He was ordained into the priesthood on July 5, 1895. He was a chaplain for 1 year in the German Moravian parish of Oberheitzendorf. After arriving in America in July of 1896, he held charges at the Sacred Heart Church in Oxford Junction and Prairieburg from 1896 to 1898. During this time, he was said to have roamed the prairies on horseback, preaching to the new immigrants. In September of 1898, he assumed the guidance of St. Wenceslas Parish. In 1900, Father Dostal helped organize the creation of an associated Bohemian Catholic Society Hall. Spillville played host to the Catholic Workman Lodge Convention that was held on January 15, 1901. This picture shows the convention workers standing in front of the newly completed parish hall. On the appointed day, the delegates were received and entertained in the new Catholic Society Hall. Pictured in the front row is Charles Andera, the manufacturer of the iron crosses. Father Dostal traveled while serving as pastor. This picture was taken in Cedar Rapids, Iowa in 1902. And here, 7 priests stand on a porch in Carlin, Missouri. Father Joseph can be seen on the far right. On account of differences that arose in the parish, Father Dostal agreed to exchange positions with the Reverend Father Peter Kloss of St. Joseph's Church in Chelsea, Iowa. Chelsea is located about 100 miles south of Spillville. Joseph Dostal would leave Spillville for the last time on July 1st, 1903. On Sunday, July 4th, Joseph was installed as the new pastor of St. Joseph's Church. Three days later, on Wednesday, July 7th, only 6 days after leaving Spillville, Father Dostal and his brother Methodius headed toward the banks of the Iowa River for an evening bath. But while bathing around 7 p.m., something began to go terribly wrong. Joseph either developed a cramp or was caught in a strong undercurrent. The young preacher struggled for his life, but succumbed to the persistence of the flowing water. His body slipped into the darkness of the Iowa River. His body was recovered at 8:30 p.m., a quarter of a mile downriver from where the drowning occurred. News of Father Dostal's death quickly reached Spillville and the surrounding towns of Kalmar and Decorah. On Friday, July 10, 1903, the Kalmar Courier ran this obituary. On Tuesday, July 14, 1903, the Decorah Journal also printed an obituary. In the obituary it states, "In the company of his brother, Reverend Dostal went to the Iowa River about a mile south of town to go bathing. The brother was Methodius. Methodius was a seminary student living in New Hampton, Iowa. He had just completed his philosophy studies. It's possible that Methodius was unable to swim and watched helplessly from the riverbank as his brother drowned. He subsequently was unable to cope with the tragedy and was admitted to a sanitarium in Independence, Iowa. Father Joseph Dostal is buried here, on a bluff overlooking the quiet town of Chelsea. The small cemetery is surrounded by farmland. Cattle can often be seen grazing in the distance. Many stories of hardship are indicated by the weathered tombstones. Joseph was a man who tried to make life more bearable for his fellow immigrants. His is a tale of good deeds and terrible misfortune.